you're in seminary now. You're taking some classes that are probably required and some that you've chosen. And you're starting to have some questions now of, could Catholicism be true? Or you were just more trying to debunk Catholicism?
Well, I love church history, and that's where it started getting interesting. Because as we're reading about and studying the early church, one of the books I still kind of go back to is this little book here called The Documents of the Christian Church. And I'm reading the Didache, and I'm reading other parts of early treatises that the Christians were writing against various heresies. And they're talking about particularly the Eucharist in a very odd way, a very specific way. And I started finding that a bit fascinating. And we had a particular exchange student during this time, a boy from Spain, who, while we were going to our evangelical church every Sunday, he missed going to Mass. And so he asked if I could take him to Mass. And our service was earlier enough that when it was finished, I could leave church and we could make it to Mass here at St. John. So I would bring David up to here, and we would sneak in the back and hope that no one would know. It was kind of funny. The first couple Sundays I was here, I was like, everyone's going to know I'm not Catholic because I'm not going to stand at the right time or say the right thing, and they're all going to go,
But they don't.
Never
so
happened.
we would sit in the back there, this far back corner over there, no one will see us. But it was interesting, the first sermon I remember, I think you said, beer is good.
No, that was the first one I heard.
That was the first one you heard.
God is great.
Beer is good.
People are
Look
crazy.
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 Yeah,
okay.
that was the first one I heard.
But it was your first sermon that I remember hearing. You said the words something about a personal relationship with Jesus, and I went.
I haven't heard that from.
I went home and said, Beth, there's this Catholic priest up there who talks like an evangelical.
I think he's in the wrong church.
I think he's in the wrong church. You should come
They
up.
don't have personal relationships with Jesus
Well,
Christ.
because every Catholic I ever talked to had ever said that we had never heard about a personal relationship with Jesus until we became a Protestant or an evangelical.
He's like, yeah, you got to come hear this priest. So I'm like, okay.
You got to come hear this guy. It's like,
So that's when you heard that crazy homily on
right.
that country song.
Then we came there, and then I think shortly after that we heard even your own testimony was as part of your homily about how the Lord brought you back into a relationship with the church, and we went, wow, okay, this is not what I expected. Mm-hmm. And then in church history, you're always going to get some assignment where now you have to go visit a church that's not your denomination and write a paper on it. Well, we were already sneaking up here anyway, so I might as well just do my paper on the Catholic Church. Yeah. And again, I'm watching everything with amazement, the way that we did communion. We do communion in our church, we do communion in the Presbyterian Church, but the way that you presented it and talked about it was very different than what we grew up with. And I thought I knew what Catholics thought. I might have even talked a couple of people out of becoming Catholic because I thought I knew what Catholics taught about the Eucharist. And come to find out, I think the Catholics are right. It was shortly after David for Christmas. He gave me, because we were interested in Catholicism, he gave me a copy of Robert Barron's book, Catholicism.
David did.
Yeah, our Spanish exchange student,
Yes.
David. Okay,
Yeah.
right here, I started underlining passages because.
It's like personal.
Wait, he's talking about a personal relationship with, relationship with Jesus. I've got notes written in
It's like
there.
in the first
And I'm like, wait a
chapter.
second, that priest was saying the same thing, and now here's another priest who's saying the same thing. Do Catholics really believe in a personal relationship with Jesus?
Yeah.
And my goodness, the answer is yes.
Yes.
It should be a resounding yes.
Yeah.
And no greater personal relationship could come than through the Holy Eucharist, through the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus. So you're starting to kind of dive deeper and understand the teaching of the church of what the communion is that one receives, and that's kind of tugging on you now.